Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday evening, 8 p.m., and you're listening to the home of Commodore 64 remixes, Slay Radio. Let us spice up your evening with Slaygon's incoherent ramblings.
Anywho Hazel.
And Ziona's pro dance moves to the best selection of remixes, sits, and demo scene tracks. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this thing. Slay tuned.
Fiddly-dum. You switched too late.
Oh,
I had to do
so
double
sorry.
fiddly-dums.
Yes, because you have no power over the microphone
none
to switch
at
it on
all.
early. No, okay.
None at all. At all, no.
None at all whatsoever.
No, none. Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's the 14th of May, and we are very happy to announce that everything is working as it should, right?
Yeah, well, kind of, sort of, ish.
It's not enough for today, you know that.
Well, it's fine.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, everything is fine.
Well, hopefully everyone can
Everything is awesome.
Exactly. Hopefully everything is awesome. Everyone will be able to hear us. And Instant Remedy around 9, because he will be our guest of the evening. And we will have a lot of questions. You can have a lot of questions for him. And we are live on our regular radio stream and our video streams, as you could get used to it, YouTube, Facebook. And if you want to join to have a chit-chat with us, then I would suggest you join either Facebook, YouTube, or IRC, where on irc.efnet.org, right?
Yes.
Yeah, where you are able to connect to the communication. Today I'm being there from a console, so don't be surprised if I'm a bit confused there, because...
You said earlier, I stopped using DOS many years ago.
Because this is how it feels, and this is actually it's not called terminal, because we are on Windows here, so it's.
It is a console.
It's your prompt.
It's a terminal of sorts.
Yeah, so I'm on IRC today from command prompt. So sorry, anyone, if I wouldn't notice anything. I guess I will notice the private messages, right? You just have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple. Let me demonstrate. You would get hello, like something like that. Hello,
okay.
one.
At
So
least
green is a private message.
At least it's highlighted, so
Yeah.
I will notice. So please, if you will have questions for Instant Remedy, send it to in a private message. That would be the best, because it's a higher chance that we will notice it than in the ongoing conversations of Facebook or YouTube or the IRC, because sometimes it speeds up and sometimes people just tend to sit back, relax, and listen to us. So it's all right. Both of them, it's all right. But in case of questions, requests, well, not the requests, but the questions, certainly write a private message. And regarding requests, you can always post your request on slayradio.org. And Snooglo said, Ziona, welcome to my world.
It's like you haven't talked in a week and just had to get everything out right now.
I'm so sorry. Am I a talkative one?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And no, we do not just sit around on the sofa and just not talk all day long.
Yeah. He is an introvert, but not as much of an introvert. And I'm sorry, but I wanted to put something here as a start for today instead of. Yeah, you prepared something, but I wanted something else.
Okay.
We also have an exclusive in the first hour to show you, so that is also something.
Or play to you. We can show it as well. take it out and dangle it in
Did I
front of
tell
them.
you that I hate this sometimes? Yeah, exactly. No, I think that someone is really worth to be shown here, not only because we have an exclusive for today, but also because he jumped up right to the top of the all-time charts with his brand new remix, and he is called Peter Clark, and his Cybernoid alt rock mix is right at the top of the all-time charts, like in a few days, which means how many days exactly? Like it was released on the 9th May. So
Yeah, and he has
In 5 days.
22 votes. So, yeah, okay, a fair few so far.
Yeah.
And most of them are positive, obviously, for obvious reasons. Because obviously.
obviously. So yes, 5 days, 22 votes, and being on the top of the charts, Peter Clark and his brand new Cybernoid, the alt rock mix. Isn't this a wonderful piece?
Indeed. It's swinging.
And he is on fire.
Yeah.
Because he is having for us an exclusive in the first hour today as well. So it's not enough that he's already on the top of the charts, but he is going for the Amiga top of the charts as well.
Yeah, so the one that is the exclusive for tonight is actually already on the Amiga
I think he thinks
remix queue.
Yeah, exactly. I think he thinks that he's kind of finished now. He achieved like everything with the C64 chart, so let's go for the Amiga charts then, right? This is how you do it. Good. Very nice work.
This is how you do it. Ooh, it's how you do it.
Yeah, that connects to some other remixer, if I remember correctly.
Yes, Lagerfeld.
So it's a public information. Okay.
Yeah. He co-wrote that song.
He co-wrote it in the 90s, and
Yes.
I was...
and it was one of the big hits.
Exactly. It's like, yay!
And Jesper Klingvall said, damn, this is a good remix. Yeah, it is.
It is. So it seems like a lot of us love it very much. And more is yet to come. So, very nice. And today, if you focus your requests on the Instant Remedy songs, we would be also very grateful, but it's not a requirement, it is just recommended. Most likely after 9 we will play Instant Remedy songs anyway, because you have to hear especially a few songs from the new album, which contains also own compositions, by the way, not only remixes of his, but...
I think it was half and half, so 50-50.
Exactly. So 4 tracks of own compositions. And I hope my memory is correct.
Yeah, 4 of his own and 4 remixes.
Yeah, exactly, as you do. So
Christian Chessem, IRC server, irc.efnet.org, and the channel is Slay Radio.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you are a Facebooker, you can join us.
He was just asking about the specifics of IRC. And on IRC, we have HTK, and Peter Clark is on there, and hello Dymo, and Martin Land as usual, and Dax is on there. Hello Snuglo, and hello Chargo.
Nice to see everyone. And I'm not confused about the fact that it's like console view. I'm confused about the fact that the notifications are barely like divided from the conversation. Like everything is almost within the same text color.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts because part of me is a UX designer, as you know.
Well, welcome to the good old days.
Right. I just want to make it more transparent.
Well,
yeah, never will happen.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, and Wobbler is with us on their IRC as well.
Very nice to see all of you there. And I guess there will be even more and more people gathering up. So very good, because today we have our guest who is probably one of the biggest remixer pioneers of all time. So we could say that he is around there right from the start, which is around 2000. I know it's 99.
Even earlier than that.
Yeah.
But he was in the... a good indication of an old-timer in the remixing scene is... Did he have any remixes in the initial import when RKO opened? And the answer for Instant Remedy is, heck yeah. He did.
Indeed, and it's not enough that he did. He is what?
ASTK on Facebook. You're so old you can't remember the good old days.
Yeah, we already get like confused brains here, and amnesia, and never mind.
Alzheimer's and whatever it's called.
Everything that comes with age.
I can't remember what it's called anymore.
Yep. And we have a few requests already.
Yay!
And a very cool request, by the way. The first one is made by Top64, and it's Instant Remedies. If I remember correctly, the latest RKO release, which he uploaded in 2016. Indeed, I was right. Wow, I remember that. July 2016, and it's R-Type with the French talking.
Une grande flotte de combattants ont été envoyés pour arrêter les étrangers. Aucun d'entre eux n'est jamais retourné. Une grande flotte de combattants ont été envoyés pour arrêter les étrangers. Aucun d'entre eux n'est jamais retourné.
Ah, how great that you found a proper button.
Yes, I think someone found a sidechain button when they did that song.
Well, that very well might be. Yeah, that's one of the most sidechain tracks of his, that is for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's nice, though.
Yep, and definitely the modern dance kind of thing. And
Oh,
we will definitely stay by a bouncy evening here, I guess, because yes, I can see on the requests as well that bouncy things will be coming up.
Yeah, I kind of think people associate Instant Remedy with bouncy bounce.
Yeah, and they are not wrong.
No, they are not wrong.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering here, actually, I was hesitating about Martin Land's request here, which is a fun one, and it would be also fun just to have a look. Meanwhile, I'm looking, actually. How are you doing this week?
This week? It's kind of been very meeting heavy work-wise, so I don't know. Had some good use for the setup. We actually figured out a way to use the studio cameras in work meetings, so that was kind of nice.
Yeah, you are absolutely into like setting up the studio and the small options, all the small options for it. So you take all the opportunity to test.
Yeah, of course. It's a perfect way to test it in a live setting, and who cares if they see my ugly mug on a meeting anyway, so could break it or not. Well, it's here as well, obviously. But it's been kind of a busy week migration-wise, doing migrations at work. So part of them are done. So moving on to the next ones and so on. So been kind of busy.
Yeah.
But been good busy.
Yeah, I can relate. I was the same. Had quite a busy week and full of emailing and meetings going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even more emailing than meetings for me. But it's going well. So that's nice. And of course, the usual quiz now. It got a tradition in my team that we do a Thursday quiz. Obviously, like end of Thursday is always we spend like half hour on Teams together and have a quiz for each other. And all the time when someone loses, there are like I guess around 13 or 14 team members participated. And if someone loses, he or she does the next week's quiz. And I got the one before the last one today, so I don't have to do that for the next week. I'm so happy about that. Yeah, but it's great fun when others are doing it. Obviously, I have to put an effort into it if I would be the next. So, I guess I have enough to do. So it's like I'm trying to avoid this as much as I can.
Just scrape the bottom. As long as you're not at the bottom, it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like I really enjoy it, even if I'm not specifically the best with all the actor and movie-related questions. Of course, not all of them. Better
Tom Hanks. It's always a good answer.
Yeah, that is very true. And today there was a question of Forrest Gump, which I hit it correctly. Exactly. So that is at least something, I guess. Anyway, I guess I prepared the next request here.
You guess?
I guess.
Uh-huh.
And
who's it for?
Martin Land, and he said he wants to hear something to dance to, like a smashy Space Harrier remix maybe. And here's the thing, from the Space Harrier remixes, I think we should play now the one that the artist's name is definitely showing that he was inspired by Instant Remedy, because the artist's name is Slow Poison. So this would be Space Harrier Bit Live Arcade Mix by Slow Poison.
Welcome to the Fantasy Zone. Get ready. Fantasy
Slow Poison and Space Harrier Beat Live Arcade Mix. We have to ask Instant Remedy, of course, if he's familiar with Slow Poison, but I guess he is.
Probably. Boz and Chris started that pretty early.
Yeah, okay. So,
So-
he should know.
Yeah, it would surprise me greatly if he did not know. Maybe he's just forgotten if he doesn't remember or whatever, but he should, I think.
Anyway, we will still have time to ask him today, I guess. And I'm having a little bit of problem to guess here what Lord of Crystallic wants to hear, because he said Instant Remedy, none. None? Like N-U-N. Like, is it a nun from
Is
Order?
it a Virgin track?
A Virgin track? Or... Yeah. I really went through the track collection and I really couldn't guess what you mean. But I'm still trying, actually. I'm still struggling here. There's nothing I can think of. If it's like an acronym, nothing I can think of. But I might miss something, I guess. Yeah, we will see. So maybe later.
Maybe later.
And also I forgot to mention that when Top64 asked, he added in a later comment that he was requesting the R-Type remix for Crowd Guy, who cannot make it again for live listening. But I saw Crowd Guy, he is there on IRC, so
Maybe
what is this right now? Oh, he had to go, or
maybe they just listen on different channels and say that, yeah, I'm too busy. And they're kind of in each other's, in each other's. What's the phrase I'm looking for? They are in their own little bubbles or some such.
And sorry about that. He reacted to me, but obviously I don't see anything in this console view. So he reacted and he said that he won't be able to make it again, like live listening, but later on probably he will re-listen. So he confirmed that. And yes, the second track of the evening was playing for you as well. So
Crowd Guy
mentioned that, and I noticed that the time is already 8:30.
Shall we play an exclusive?
I think that would be the time for playing the
I
exclusive.
think so, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And wondering if there is any sort of sound going on. Is your Facebook silent by any chance? I really hope so that it
Check
is.
the volume thingy down there.
Of the video, yes,
yes,
but
and
I'm curious about your system sounds.
Well, let's see. Play a few notes.
A few
Of that.
notes.
Press play on that.
No, that will
No.
play. This is not my question. My question is that if we get new chat messages,
Yeah.
the listeners
no,
will hear.
I have no notifications
Okay, you have no notifications.
No.
That's cool. That's
or sound. I
I
always switch
like
them
to
off.
live without
I
notifications.
always switch them off. The first thing I do, if there is a way to switch off notification sounds, I switch them off.
Yeah, I like
wait.
that. I totally like that. So I would say that we should show now an exclusive, as we agreed. And this attempt of Peter Clark will go for the top of the Amiga charts, as we could get used to from him. So this time, not a C64 entry, but it's a very nice new attempt on a Guitar Slinger, and he calls it for now Guitar Slinger Plus version.
looking gorgeous.
Indeed, and it is in the Amiga Remix queue. So, just so you know.
Yeah, there were already some questions. Where can I download this tune? Yeah, it's been uploaded to amigaremix.com. So once the queue has been processed, apparently there's, I think, 5 songs in the queue, apparently. So those need to be gone through by the site admins and published. So
The Amiga Remix?
Amiga Remix, yes.
Ah, yeah, right, okay.
And the Grigel is asking on YouTube what happened to RKO. He's trying to download something and gets a message that he needs to contact SiteOp. I just noticed that just before the show because I was going to download the latest so we could play them on the show. But had not time to contact Qued about that. So I do not know what is going on there, but presumably I think there's something wrong with the file storage part of the site. So I'll get in contact with Qued and see what he has to say about the thing.
Yeah, let's hope that he will sort it out very, very soon.
I'm gonna see if there's any word on the public chat over here on the thingy mabob. I have over here. Yeah, I'll check that later. Not right now.
Okay, and meanwhile, Max Levine, just so you know.
Hello, Max.
Hi, we have Sonic Wanderer and Custodian Revival ST somewhere, but I couldn't find it. I'm pretty sure that we have it somewhere, but maybe not on your machine.
No,
so.
It's somewhere on the backup server. I think it's from one of the... on one of the external drives that host archives of sorts. It's on one of those.
Yeah,
and I copied all of those external drives to the server. So they're somewhere.
Okay, well, let's hope that soon we can copy all the collections together, I guess, that we have, because that would be great. We are missing out on a few pieces here. Yeah, so we have to look into this. Probably won't happen this evening, but you can have another request if you want to, especially if it's Instant Remedy, then we would be extra happy about it. But yeah, we will see. And meanwhile, meanwhile, Boyer is also with us, and he says, "Hi there, awesome entertainers." Wow. Thank you.
Well, hello.
Hi. Can I please request Commando by Instant Remedy? Big thanks. Lots of high fives and cuddles to you. Oh, we love you too. Thank you very much. And yeah, Commando cannot be missing from today's repertoire, I think. So
definitely not.
We really have to play this song. Haha. Josh Levin said on Facebook that this is my favorite Commando remix.
Josh
And
Levin.
Josh Levin, yes. That's his name, Josh Levin.
Uh-huh.
But he writes it differently than Max Levin.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is that a brother or something?
No,
Cool.
his family name is slightly different. Yeah. But he said it, and also Andy Funky Data Vessels said that a snippet from it is actually his ringtone. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
There were some questions regarding the download function on RKO. Quid was doing some updates earlier today, so it might be related to that. But he's currently looking into it, so hopefully that will be sorted soon.
That's great to hear, at least. And yeah, we might need RKO even if we have all the RKO here, but sometimes...
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah.
Just fetch it from RKO instead of going into the archives and whatnot.
Sometimes one or two bits and pieces, I don't understand how, but they are missing from your local archive here. So
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were some broken files or something and they failed to copy. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't remember even when I copied all of those files. Actually, the files on that machine might be the oldest archive I have.
Oh, okay.
So
Does
that
it
might,
mean
might
that?
explain why there's some missing bits and pieces from RKO, because I haven't kind of backfilled everything.
And it seems like Dex does a very similar thing to what I wanted to do like a few years ago. He does also graphic design for festivals and events.
Yeah, that's
That
nice.
is good to know. Yeah,
cool.
there was a short time span when I wanted to specialize to that part as well, like graphic design for events, even like wedding invitations and other event invitations. That's why.
Is that a big market or something?
It's more like I wanted to take it from the very creative part, like the unusual invitations part. So since I didn't really like the regular, non-customized wedding and other invitations, I was completely thinking out of the box and let's do something completely different. So that was kind of my thing when we started to go with this. But then later on, there was probably because of there was more need of web design, I also went back to it. But now, for a change, I'm enjoying it again, which is like I had my burnouts too in that like slight 15 years when I started the thing. But now it's absolutely all right, and I'm in love with my job again. So that's so cool.
That's
I
so
guess
nice.
I wish this feeling for you all. This is a great thing.
Indeed. It is a great thing.
And if we don't enjoy what we are doing by the daily hours, which is like most of our time, then we really have to change something. That is very important as well.
Indeed. Do what you love.
Yep.
And love what you do.
Absolutely. And we have I0 requesting.
I0.
Yep. Requesting Lazy Jones by Mucky Good from
Mucky Good.
Binary Baby. It's Binary Baby album. Yeah, I guess it's expected that today the listener count is higher, Slaygon.
When did I say anything about that?
Well, you just said it to me, like during the track was playing.
Not to the public.
Well, yeah, but there are definitely...
Yes, obviously.
Definitely
it's
more
the
people.
remedy.
Definitely, and he will be here, like...
Soon!
Very,
in 7
very,
minutes
very
ish.
soon. Very soon.
In 7 minutes-ish.
7 minute-ish. I'm really thinking of Malthus's request here. He is almost on the vicious level of Boswang with his request. Should we play his request? He cannot say something like this in today's show.
Obviously he can.
Well,
But
Malthus.
yeah, we can play that.
Well, okay, because, well, I intend to play that track and one more request, and then after that we also have a bunch of instant remedy requests anyway to prepare to. But, yeah, Malthus, well, you are not the nicest person here, but let me read what you said. Outrun by Peter W. I know that Instant Remedy did a remix of that too, but Peter W's is way better. No, shame on you. They are different. They are both very good. I would not say that one is better than the other. So, shame on you, especially for today. But here comes your... Yeah?
Oh, wait. If you're having a necklace thing, so am I.
Oh, wow.
There we go. It's a Velcro thing. Perfect.
Wow. You are missing some sort of latex shirt there and some sort of leather kind of things, and then yeah, that can work. Anyway.
Play the fucking song, will you?
Anyway, here comes Peter W. and Outrun, and after that we might play Kira's request, I think, and after that we will welcome Instant Remedy. So, there we go. Well, I think this song also fits today's topic anyway, because it's a bouncy evening. So
Indeed.
yeah, so in that sense, it's a good request.
It is.
Malthus, who is not politically correct. My God, unbelievable! Well, if you know his profession, that's especially funny.
Exactly.
Anyway,
It's fun.
it's fun. I see a lot of great Instant Remedy requests coming up.
That's excellent.
Yeah, indeed. And before that, we have a special thing to play for you, which is a request of Kira. And she says that I would like to hear Lukash with Cyber Ninja if there is no copyright problem. I think there is no problem in that sense because it's a very short song.
Yeah, it's more like a promotion for his channels on Spotify, YouTube, and whatnot. So let's promote the man, shall we?
Yep.
All right, and we'll be right back with Instant Remedy.
Yay. Okay, so this was Lukash and Cyber Ninja. If 50 seconds is a song, it's a good question. What is the length where you can call something as a song, I guess? But yeah, it's a really good piece. It's a quality piece, as usually Lukash's tunes are. And as the man's tunes who is with us as well. Hi there.
Oh, that way. He's that way.
Yeah, he is that way for like my direction, and for you, he is a bit further.
Yeah, he's that way.
Yeah. But since you can also see the monitor there, I guess it wouldn't be a problem for you either. So he is facing you, just so you know as well, but on his monitors.
Anyway, hello and welcome.
Yeah.
Hello.
How do you feel?
Oh, I feel good. I just heard the outrun by Peter W, and it's a really good song.
It is.
Technically, it's light years ahead of mine, but some people might prefer mine because it might have more of the bleeps and bloops from the Commodore 64.
That is very true. Yeah,
very
and
true.
How many years are between those songs? I think a bunch. Let me check it up for you.
I think I made mine at 97.
97. Wow. So your outrun is from 97. I didn't know that. That is so cool.
98 maybe. Yeah, 98 I think.
Wow. That is really cool. I have to tell you that it's exactly 10 years between your songs. So it was 2007 August when he released this No Speed Limit remix.
Oh, it's that old. I thought it was just maybe 7 years old or something, but it's...
Yeah, it sounds fairly recent in that sense, but 10 years is 10 years. And
yeah, I listened to remixes a lot more back in the around 2000 when I was more active. But after maybe 2005, it started to fade. I think I listen occasionally for new stuff, but before around 2000, I listened to every remix that showed up at RKO.
Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah, that's a bunch because those were really active years.
Yeah.
So, but that means that every now and then you go back to RKO and just check the new outcomes, I guess.
Yeah, I do.
And
I mainly look for the red smiley faces.
Well, you have a couple of new ones on there from Peter W. Not Peter W. Sorry, Peter Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he the guy who made Bubble tunes?
He did an orchestra version of that, and he was the one who won 2 awards last year of the Remixer of the Year awards.
Yeah.
So, and also he is the one who the first song of today was his, because right after he came out with that song, he landed on the top of the C64 chart, the all-time chart, which is like wow. I guess
Yes.
in 5 days it's
Yes, and the original as well.
It's cool. It's cool to hear people from back in the day doing remixing stuff. Several other original composers for the SID. You see from time to time their names show up as a remixer of somebody else's song.
Yeah, that's so funny.
yeah, absolutely.
Some people prefer not to be associated with the old music, so yeah, it's different from person to person.
Yeah, I guess there's some depends on how you viewed the time you had back then.
I think
how you perceive the remixing scene in particular, when it's basically going back and digging up old corpses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But,
I read in interviews. I'm not sure who it was, but it wasn't all glamour. It was a pretty hard time, and many times they got ripped off with the jobs. They were doing the stuff, but they never got paid by the companies.
And very tight deadlines.
Yeah.
Mm.
But some people do well with tight deadlines. Like I read Hubbard, the Commando tune. He made it overnight, and in the morning when people showed up, he played the complete tune. Oh, and it's a real masterpiece. It's actually one of my top SID tunes.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, you must have been very motivated then when you did the remix, I guess.
Yeah.
Has he ever commented on any of your remixes at some point?
Not that I'm aware of. No, not him, but other people have commented. One thing that I actually pretty cool is that Thomas Detot, he's the guy, one of the producers behind 666.
Mm-hmm.
I made a remix of his Magic Disc. That's on my new on the album.
Yeah.
He thought that the tune was really cool, and that was cool to hear.
Yeah, and he's very active and actually going back to the 64 again and doing new stuff. Marcus Schneider.
Yeah, he's part of a group, Example, I think it's called.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't they doing games and graphics and stuff?
They used to, but I don't know if they're doing that now. I think they're concentrating on the music. I
think
haven't really followed that.
Thomas's posts are mostly about the music part, I guess, from what I saw on Facebook at least.
Yeah.
And we had a discussion with him about a year ago, I think. And then,
something like
kind
that.
of started. He started to upload his SIDs as well on YouTube with proper kind of sounds, and as it should be. That is important, because there are like SIDs that we knew on a way, and it turns out that this is not how it's supposed to sound. So then he enlightened us as well that this is not how it was originally. So I guess it matters a lot. Have you ever tried to do SIDs, by the way?
No, I haven't. The furthest I have, the closest to creating a SID is using a VST called Quadrath SID. I think it's really good, and you create the sounds like you like you remember them,
Yeah.
all the waveforms and the sound is there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But not making the actual 3-channel SID composing. I haven't been doing that.
That would be fun to hear.
Yeah, it definitely would. Especially if you've been poking around with sound design and such in those type of plugins, because essentially that is the same process you do for the actual SID.
Yeah.
There's a thing called Insidious 6581, which is a Reactor library, I guess.
It's like quadrant, right? But
no, it's a Reactor for Native Instruments Reactor. So it's a
But
kind of a
is that
module.
sample based or is it?
No.
then it is like Quadracid. I used Quadracid, and it was also it's a VST basically.
Yeah, but Reactor is the VST, and Insidious is a module for Reactor. So it's a kind of a dual layered.
Yeah, I know it's Reactor based, but the essence is probably the same. I guess.
What do you mean with essence?
Like you have the
Sounds.
Yeah, you have the sounds that are kind
it
of.
makes sound, so in that sense, okay, it is like the same thing.
Come on, both of them are like SID VSTs.
Yes, in that sense, yes, absolutely, they are the same. But this is for free as well, Insidious. Unfortunately, you need to have a paid full version of Reactor for that. But the reason I mention that is because the creator of that is very active in still developing it. It's still actively being developed by Mike Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Is it
you
related to Peter Clark?
I do not know. I have not actually asked, but I don't think so.
No. It's a common name. Yes.
But when you included SID parts of your into your remixes, these were usually snippets from the original, so they were not recreated sounds, right?
No, I tried to use the original sounds. I think that's a big part of why I do the remixes. It's because I want it to sound like I remember the sounds, but I want to add layers of more contemporary drums and bass and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's often the main goal with the remix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
just to have that extra little bit of nostalgia in there.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is with that it's not enough if you have the original SID and you add some dance rhythm to it, because I think, in my opinion, you find the proportions very well. And even in your early pieces, this is why they stay like, I like to call it evergreen. I know it might not make sense that much in English, but it's like it keeps coming with us, and after 20 years we enjoy it the same way, because you found that sweet spot with that proportions, with the SID and the rhythm and the foundation that you kind of do with those. And I think there were many attempts of remixers that tried to do something similar, but the proportions are missing, the proper proportions that you have to find.
Yeah, I think the recipe is pretty simple, but the execution needs more thought and planning and care than just doing the thing from start to end. You need to think of the structure, how to keep the interest at the pacing and the interest of the song, the proportions of all those aspects on a nice level.
Yeah, very true. Which one of your tracks would be the one that you would think that you found the proportions the best? I know it's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I like those classic SIDs, the ones I made my first years. I like the outrun. That's a reason one of the reasons I re-released it on the Spotify and so on, because I think that's a track I still enjoy. Technically, it's not much to there's much to wish for in today, but I think there's more than technical quality to a song.
Yeah.
Music from the 50s and 60s will attract a lot of people, even if it's not recorded with a state-of-the-art studio and so on.
Definitely.
Because there's something else. There's some kind of soul, or how you describe.
I kind of usually liken that to gameplay. Even though the graphics were shit on many of the old platforms, the gameplay was very interesting and kind of posed some interesting problems. And then you get to the 3D era where they just throw all the graphics at you, but there's zero gameplay. It's all just sound design, all of it, instead of the actual music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say, how about listening to Outrun in that case? That was also, by the way, my first song that drove to the instant remedy direction. So I guess it's like many of us who would say. I don't know if I told you that story before when we were talking, but my first experience with the Outrun remix was heading towards Helsinki to a demo scene party where a friend of mine was showing it. This is the best. And then he kind of started to play Outrun, and then we were like on the highways on the way to Helsinki to assembly party in 2005. So the first experience, and I hope that others have the same good memories of this too. So let's have a listen.
Yeah, cool story.
Oh, those wins at the end.
Instant classic, instant joy, instant happiness, instant question. How does he do that? Says DMC on Facebook. Or Mikael Wildhagen. So, how do you do that?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been a while. Was it 97?
Yeah, and I think 98 maybe.
Wow. So this song is from 98.
Yeah.
That is so cool to know as well.
That's one of the tunes that I uploaded to the trial MP3.
Yeah, definitely
I think
was.
that was the first place I uploaded the first bunch of remixes.
Mm-hmm.
That's where people started to listen to them.
Yep.
And my name was recognized among the Sid fans.
Yep, that is where I found you the first time as well.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, and
I'm not sure when RKO appeared. I think it was
in 2000.
in 2000. Okay.
Yeah, in June 2000, I think it was.
yeah, so there are many remixes from June 2000 because all of them got uploaded in the same bunch at the start.
Where were they before they appeared on RKO? Where did they come from? Was it
The bulk of the songs were from the Triad MP3s site.
okay.
And yours were part of that bulk import in that. Jesper Klingvall, aka Skuggan, says, I remember when I started working at Spray in Stockholm year 2000, they were pumping Instant Remedy remix in the speakers. That's cool.
Yeah, I've heard it. Since I'm working with game development.
Yeah.
I've come across people who I work with. Many of them said, "Oh, Instant Remedy, we listen to your tunes at the office."
That is so cool. So yeah, then you have met with colleagues and random people who realize that, oh, it's you. Wow. Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
And we have some questions around here. Peter Clark actually wants to ask you, how much do you use real hardware synths and instruments, and how much is DAW-based VSTs?
Currently, I don't have any hardware synths, but my first album, the one that came out in 2002, I used 2 synthesizers. I had a Roland JD800 that looks like a spaceship. That's one of the main reasons I bought it.
Looked cool.
It had so many sliders. I'm not sure, maybe 50 sliders. It was a crazy, but it sounded really good. And then I had a Virus B, I think, and I just used them to make samples because I didn't have any good MIDI. Since I used trackers, they didn't support MIDI either at all or very bad. Mm-hmm. I had to make a MIDI, make the MIDI and sample the sound from the synth, and then use it as a sample in the song. So it's a bit, it's not as convenient as it is today, where you just load up and everything sounds great and is saved forever.
Yeah, a lot more work back then.
Yeah, but yeah, you had to make choices because today, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Maybe later I can take the make the choice. But then you had to do your thing and record it, and okay, it's good enough. It's you have to go with that, or you waste too much time trying to adjust a lot of details that I think many people wouldn't been able to notice anyway.
Yeah.
So the workflow is a bit different when you use recording and and when you have the convenience of today.
And do you have like playing synth in your fingers still? So if there's something, you can just play it, or
No, I'm terrible at playing. I can just. I'm not sure of the word in English. I plink. I just
that is
play
a proper
them
word.
barely.
You play like this,
Yeah.
kind of like me then.
Kind of like that, yeah.
I can kind of do basic chords on the guitar, but on the piano, nothing. It's It's like a noob on a computer.
Yeah, you have all
Where's
your
the
guitars.
space? Where's the space key?
It's mainly when you do songs for yourself. That's not a remix. You play. You're a bit limited because you since you're not skilled, you can't do like my son. He's really good at playing the piano. He's doing the chords with one hand and do the melody with the other. And he's played so fast I can hardly see his hands. I can't understand how he's doing it. But for me, the main thing is to find the right note and put it in my DAW, and then I go back and press play and adjust stuff. So yeah, I think that's the case for quite many people.
Yeah.
Who produce music.
Definitely. Yeah, we can relate, at least.
Yeah,
that we know.
There's very few Mordis, and Mordy I don't think is so good on the keyboard yet, but he's working on it. But he does play guitar, bass, and the drums. And then we of course have Rhino who plays anything you give him.
Anything, yeah.
And Peter Clark is quite skilled at many of the things as well, especially guitar. So yeah.
And we have a Dax on the channel who became like the star of I would say for you, if you followed the remix scene like until 2005 mostly. But you are familiar with Dax, I think, right?
Dax, yeah. Oh, I'm not sure how many remixes he has made, but it's hundreds, I think.
Over 130 something, I think, last time when I counted it. So it's
mainly Amiga remixes, I think.
He was oriented, but also he did a couple of 64 ones as well, and they are available on his YouTube channel mostly nowadays. But he said that the Instant Remedy remixes and productions are actually pretty good. One of a few remixers, I think he could 100% produce hits for the radios too. How about that? Did you ever consider?
That's a very nice compliment from coming from him. That has extremely high. He has a very high quality of his remixes as well, and he produces them so fast. He makes like 3 a month or something. It's for me that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't even make 3 a year.
I'm not sure how much he is producing right now, but some years he just it's a crazy amount and high quality.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. He stated on the channel that he has less time for remixing right now, but I guess aiming for it at one point maybe. So.
And it's varied too. It's orchestral and it's EDM and it's all over the place. He's mastering several good, several genres very good.
Yeah,
indeed. Yeah, he's good with many styles. So in that sense, it's. Have you considered like trying out completely new styles, or the bouncy thing is your thing as we know it?
No, I do other stuff, but that's mainly for at work when we are doing games. I do music for those games, and sometimes they're more to set the mood. So it's not always music. And very seldom the kind of music I do when I do remixes. Mm-hmm. It's not so many times you want bouncy dance stuff when you make a game. maybe what is called the VR saber, the VR game where you stand with the lightsaber.
Right. The Star Wars thingy or whatever.
Some games may be good with a dance tune or two, but very rarely, I think.
Yeah, true.
Could you mention games that you have made music for?
Our games, the Reckless Racing games, I think those tunes actually were kind of dancey. Reckless Racing 2, I have them on my Spotify, actually. So, or other digital sites that have my music. So the Reckless Racing and I'm not sure what they called. Yeah, not all my music are there, but and I made for 80s music that sounds like old Terminator, early 80s music. I made that for our last game.
Cool.
So it's cool to kind of like Terminator music.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting to hear some of the Reckless Racing tracks. Here we have the Big Chase, High Octane Edit, or the Breaks and Breaks. Haha.
Yeah, Breaks and Breaks. I think that's a pretty dancey tune.
That's the one? Okay.
And the something with Square, Dream Square. Yeah, the Dream Square. I think those are original tunes that I think is, I was pretty satisfied with them.
Okay.
I made them in like a day or two.
Okay.
Usually I take much more time when I make music, but when you're doing work, you have a limited time. So but that may be good because, like I said before, you have to make decisions. You can't just, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I exchange this instrument filled with lots of small details? You don't have time with that. You just have to do it and deliver.
Okay. Which one we should go for from the 4 tracks here?
I think either Breaks and Breaks or Dream Square.
Okay. Because these I didn't hear either. So it's Breaks and Breaks then?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so after the song we will be back. Hopefully so.
Hopefully, yes.
that was great.
We have a disco in here.
You should have done that during the song.
I know.
Too late. Well, we will still have some great dance songs coming up today. I have a sixth sense feeling about that.
Yeah, it's gonna get some use.
I'm pretty certain it will.
Yeah, so that was something I rarely do for games. We had a game and we had no music, so I think I made it in the evenings and spare time because we were very pressed with the deadline. So I had to squeeze something together quite fast. And you do what you can with the time you have. So but sometimes you will get satisfied because you knew that with the time you spent, you got quite nice results.
Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes you know that you don't have more time anyway for the thing, and it should not be that 100% that you spend like 1 month with. Obviously, if you have that amount of time, and it was really great. So
yeah, and a related question on YouTube from Morty. Where does Instant Remedy work?
The company is called Pixel Byte, like a pixel that someone bites in. Pixel Byte. Yeah, Pixel Byte.
Yeah, and your official title is game developer.
Yeah.
As you said. Okay.
So you're a programmer?
No,
languages?
I'm an artist, graphics artist, and of course the sound department with the sound effects. And I don't always do the music, but there are stock music sites that have lots of music that fit our games. So it's nice to browse through genres that might fit our games, and we just pick and pay. It's quite convenient, but it's not always you get a perfect fit for everything in the game. And sometimes you need more control of the music than just a track that plays during the gameplay or in the menu. You need you might need more control over the music, and then it's good to make it on your own, so you have full control.
Yeah, understandable. And how often it happens that they need your custom-made type of music?
Yeah, maybe every third project in roughly.
Every third project?
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how long you work on a project, of course.
Yeah, but get a bit of variation in there. That's nice.
Yeah.
The projects take longer. The first project we made took about between 5 and 9 months. But as time progress, the games get more advanced, and now maybe we're producing maybe 1 per year, maybe.
Yeah.
It's also in relation to the size of the company, how many employees we have at the moment, and so on.
And I guess related to the complexity of the games.
Yeah. Some games are easier or less complex.
And you develop mostly for mobile?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess then mobile and tablet, or something like that.
Yeah, we started in 2009, and that was, I'm not sure it was the year the iPhone was released, but I think it was somewhere around those years. So we started the company in the right time to produce. We developed. We were a bunch of colleagues that were unemployed, and then we decided to go together and form a studio for ourselves.
That's nice.
Yes, I'm a part owner of the company.
So it's partially your baby as well. That's really nice.
Yeah. Not a huge part, but I'm not sure which car. Yeah, I was with the startup of the company and part owner.
Nice and exciting. And it's you recently came out with an album that would be the first thing actually that we planned to talk about, since it's been like 3 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
2 or 3, between 2 and 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to it instantly. Only took us 40 minutes.
Yeah, and also that we are in a slight delay with that, because obviously our first planned interview was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago, which was complete royal bonkers. I don't really know what happened that evening. It never happened before.
I
but
do.
I mean, you do. It's enough if you do. It's like we don't have to get into details here, but I think it's better that we could do it today, because then everything is falling into place, and now people can actually see you. So, and it's always different when you have like live questions than if they are able to see you just later. So
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's better. And we have a regular question from a regular listener who is Pawacz. And he says, hey guys, a question for our valued guest. The red Lotus Esprit on the cover of your album, did it get there randomly, or is it your dream car by any chance?
Oh, I like the Lotus cars of that era, the 90s. I think the early 90s Lotus Esprit cars, they're really nice. But I think we had plans for another cover art, but Jan Sottman, who is the producer of the album, he had a contact that had made a render of the Lotus car, and which looked really cool. So we went with that instead. So yeah, I like it, and the Lotus tune is the most played by far on that album. I'm not sure if it's the picture that's doing it, or
yeah, exactly. It's like it must be something to do with this car. Where is that track?
Yeah, and also he had a second question. And by the way, we have to play this tune because now we are talking about it. So obviously we have to. What would be your dream car if it wasn't the case? If it wasn't Lotus, right? And what was the first car you ever had? Cheers, he said.
Oh, my dream car, I think it's some kind of Lamborghini, maybe Diablo or Aventador, or some not too new. I like all Lamborghinis almost. They're pretty cool. And it's not practical, but it's a really cool car.
Well,
and my first car was a Volkswagen Golf.
It's almost like a Lamborghini.
Yeah,
has the engine in the back and the trunk in the front, so all good.
Yeah, all same.
And 4 wheels.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't know much about cars. I can speak for both of us because we don't have a license either, but Diablo, I definitely know that. So it's like, it's kind of hard not to remember that car. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, so I would say that we could play Lotus Turbo Challenge 2 from Insert Disc 2, which has the beautiful Lotus on the cover, and then we can proceed. What do you think?
Sounds like a great idea to me.
Sounds like a good idea, as Slaygon usually says. Yeah, exactly.
Good idea.
Lotus Turbo Challenge 2 from
Disco,
the album
disco,
Insert
that-
Disc 2.
Yeah, it's funny with that tune because I got feedback from Barry Leach, the composer. Jan Sottman had contacts with most of the original composers, and Barry didn't like the remix. He thought he liked many of my other remixes, but he thought it was a bit too much like the original, a bit lame, maybe.
Oh.
No way!
But I didn't.
Seriously?
I didn't fully agree, and I thought I think people will want to hear the tune as they know it, and not break it apart too much like I do with some other remixes. And I think this is the most popular song of the album, so I think I hopefully made the right choice.
I think you definitely did.
Yeah,
I really like this song.
I think there's with the Amiga remix community in particular, it seems like they do enjoy more the one-to-one kind of things.
Yeah, more of a cover than a remix.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what's going on there, if they're unimaginative or some shit, who knows. But it seems to be a trend on the Amiga remix, in the Amiga remix community. But
It's a bit tricky with the Amiga because since you're using samples, you have a fixed soundscape, or want to call it. And if you tamper, or if you exchange sounds, or you break things apart and remix them too hard, they don't lend themselves to too much changes. It's my experience when I work with the Amiga album compared to SID albums.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how far away from the original you take it. Let's say you take something like a Lotus Turbo Challenge and make I don't know, a Spanish guitar version of it. Maybe that would work, but if you just kind of keep the tempo and that sort of thing, but just replace the instrumentation to more modern versions, maybe that is not working that well. I don't know. Yeah. And rearranging it, sorry.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that the Amiga album took much more time than, let's say, SID remixing, because for one, it's easier just to use the main, the real SID sounds, and you don't have to think too much about it. But with the Amiga, you had to replace the sound because the samples sound like not good. You have to replace them, and that is a real sensitive process when you try to replace them with something that either sounds as close as you can or something different.
Yet have the same feel to them.
Yeah, but still have the same feel and atmosphere. It's that's quite tricky, actually.
Yeah,
it
totally.
Really
but I guess it's also a matter of taste kind of thing. And let's be honest, if you haven't impressed one person, I can show you many others that you have. I don't know if you read those interviews early on, but I gathered up a few names who refer to you and your remixes. And let's read here a bit. Martin Galway said to the question, is there a remix of one of your tunes that he has that has really impressed you? Not he, it's that has really impressed you. The Instant Remedy Comic Bakery and the Whizball Catalyte Leaves are the two that I've been playing a lot recently. My little boy loves to dance to the first above mentioned. It's amazing how differently these tunes can come out.
Ooh, I read that interview. Oh, that's really cool to hear.
And, the second candidate, Machine Supremacy. So tell me, how did you come about the idea of remixing Giant Sisters? Well, we used the SID station and made game-style rock music before we got that idea. I used to listen to remixes, and one of my favorites was Instant Remedy's Gianna remix. And then some dude looks up Puffy64 and prompted that we should do a remix of something, how cool it would be. So after some thought, we thought it is a great idea. So Instant Remedy was more of an inspiration. Yes. So Machine Supremacy, I guess this is pretty impressive, right? It's like,
yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're really great. I'm not sure if they make SID remixes anymore, but those they made were really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like medleys, they included many SIDs in medleys, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like the early medleys, the 4 of them. These are classics. I think when the remixing later on they became like big and popular. So I think they were also the 4 band of Children of Bodom for a while. So I saw them live playing once in Budapest at a concert. So they became big, but in a way they started with you and your remixes. So that is pretty cool, I think. And also, I don't think that we have time for like everyone's opinions to read up, but just a short list.
Well, you can send that list to him.
Oh, I will.
Because that would be fun, because you did some research there, and there's some nice comments in there, I think.
So nice. Let me just tell names here, other names that were inspired by your tracks. Bart Klepka, Press Play on Tape, O2, Paul Kubishin, Door X, CZ Tunes, Pudsey, Sonic Wanderer, X-Men, FTC, Max Levine, Mahoney, the Ploff. That's my favorite. I cannot pronounce this right.
Plow.
Whenever we come to this, I swear I forget how to pronounce the plow. I'm so sorry. And Dr. Future. So, quite a few people there.
Yeah, I recognize, I think, almost all of them. Many of the early generation of remixers, I think.
Yeah.
Many of them.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess it's great. And if we talk about inspiration, then we also have to talk about who inspired you. So who would be your favorites? And
favorite among remixers?
Let's start with remixers, then let's continue with favorite SIDs. It's like...
Yeah, it's funny because I have... top 3 remixers. On the top I have Glyn R. Brown, and then I have O2, which was inspired by me, and then the guy who made Sonic Wanderer. I think it's because we have a similar style.
No surprise there. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
And then I like Hazel. He's Danish. I had quite some contact with him some years ago. He's I think he made quite some nice stuff. And I have Amok. Also as a SID remixer, I think do cool stuff. Mainly because it's similar to my preferences in music.
Definitely, yeah.
But I enjoy occasional silly renditions of like there's a guy that makes it sounds like a small orchestra of a small band. That sounds pretty funny.
Rune Bertil, maybe?
Yeah.
There we go.
Exactly. I can enjoy those tunes very much because they're funny and they capture the feel, but in a very different way.
Yeah, totally unexpected way, but they are really cool. Yeah,
exactly. Uncle and the Bacon.
Yeah, exactly. But Rune Bertil and Uncle and the Bacon, they are not one and the same. They are different entities,
they're
right?
The same.
Oh, are they? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, because it's
I
like
think at least. I might be
they sound
wrong.
like similar,
Yeah.
but yeah.
The Battles, they sound Swedish. It's Swedish.
I'm pretty
It sounds
sure
like
they
a
are.
dance band.
Yeah, or Norwegian. It wouldn't surprise me
Yeah,
either way.
Norwegian, maybe.
Could
Well,
actually ask Chris Abbott. He has contact with them because they actually did an album for the 8-Bit Symphony Kickstarter.
Ah, cool. I think there are many Nordic. The community, remixing community, is probably pretty big in the Nordic countries: Norway,
Yeah.
Sweden,
Yeah.
Finland, Denmark.
We actually started thinking about that, in, what was it, last week or the week
yeah,
before?
we have to do some country statistics
Yeah,
because
so I asked Elman to actually draw up a heat map of
Cool.
where remixers are located in the European continent, at least.
didn't
Yeah.
he say that he cannot do that because
No, he can do the heat map, but he cannot provide us the data because that's what I asked for at first. But because of GDPR and all of that, so he can't share that data. So,
But you can see the heat map.
he's not made that yet. He's kind of busy with other stuff, so he's kind of working on that after hours, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just said that we can gather the remixers like manually, that everyone that we know of where they come from, and then we can see how they split up, because it is like evident that Sweden will be the first in the remix scene. Like, for some reason, this is the epicenter of the entire thing, and many people are coming from here. But there are like pretty strange things going on there in Central Europe region, because like there are some countries that are out of scope, and then in the middle of it there was also me with this also 10 million people population, and then it produced a few and more than others remixers. So this is why it was so surprising, and I started to think of that. How is this happening?
Yeah.
So
They were early on with the Commodore 64 as well. In the early 90s, I remember there was an influx of Hungarians on the demo scene. So maybe that is why there's also a bigger bunch of remixers from there.
yeah,
Maybe.
we started to compare the amount of remixers with the population. So that's. But let's hope that
Bruce the Moose on YouTube asks, how much did Honorability inspire you?
honorably.
Honorability.
I think this is Slaygon's part too.
The remixer handle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I've heard the name.
You must have.
One of the older,
Yeah.
the early generations of remixers. I'm not sure.
He had church bells in every remix he made. So if you heard a church bell, you knew it was Honorability.
Yeah, I don't think too much, I suppose. I get inspired, but I don't get inspired to do something exactly like the music I was inspired by. I think Sonic Wanderer made a remix of the Last Ninja Palace tune, and he did it in one way, and then I thought, I've never thought of that tune in that way. So he kind of introduced me to listening to the song and experiencing it from another perspective. So I made one for the album, my first album. So that's one of the more clear cases where I have a strong inspiration source.
Yeah. How about playing that song? How about playing that song?
We can.
It's right there in...
Hang on a minute.
There we go, the one under.
What, the one under? What?
The one under that. There.
Ah, right.
First song on the album.
But yeah, club version, extended version. No, the first track. Yeah, there we go. I'm in picture here. So
Yes, you are.
yeah, so Last Ninja the Palace. Yeah, I think it's a great idea to highlight. And at one point, I promise we will get back to the requests as well, but I think this is like very interesting for everyone because these tracks you can't hear like every day on our rotational, right? They are not included in the rotational.
I think that album might actually be. Insert Disc 2 is not, but I think the first one is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Instant
rotational.
Remedy is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Last Ninja the Palace. this is
And
available
now
in the
we're
rotational.
back on air.
What, we weren't back on air before?
No.
Oh,
Now
I'm
we are.
sorry. So I was talking for you and the walls. Last Ninja de Palace from the album Instant Remedy.
I have a question on Facebook to Mr. Remedy. Is there anyone that he would like to collaborate with on the scene? Rhino or someone else? Says Josh Levine.
I'm not sure. I've tried some small cooperation or collaboration projects, but I'm not sure what went wrong. But they all didn't go anywhere.
Oh.
Too bad. But if doing a proper collaboration. Maybe someday. I'm not sure. And I've heard it's really good with the collaboration because you have someone to bounce ideas with. It's the same with the game developing. You think you have a good idea, but if you're not discussing it, you're not realizing it may have flaws you haven't thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music is a bit easier because you can get through a song much easier, but I think the principle is the same, that you want the sum is larger than the parts, so I'm not sure of the expression.
Yeah, that sounds about right, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's a matter of who you collaborate with, and I guess it's everyone it's different.
Yeah, it's very different. So I've done a couple with various people, and it's different every single time.
Yeah, exactly. With some people, it's kind of obvious. Like when you have like very similar musical taste, everything goes by itself. Like I guess then it's very very easy in that sense.
Yeah, finding the right collaborator is crucial.
Yeah, but they can be also very different, because if you get someone from a completely different style, then you can also balance out each other. Like you have your weak points that you know of, and then the other party is better on that one, and then all together there comes something like way better out of it. So it's like, I guess it's very matter of person and matter of musical taste, and also the technical background probably. If you can align. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's it would be a great idea, but I haven't come to that point that I think I really need it to get something done.
Yeah, and of course in the age of VSTs, sometimes it's your only choice is to have the rendered kind of end result to send to the others, but you use Renoise, right? Do I remember correctly? Yeah, exactly. So that has a very good feature in that sense, that you can render the instruments to samples, which is awesome, I think, because you don't have to have the VST after you rendered it. So you can just send it over, and that is so
but
cool.
that has some limitations in it, doesn't it?
Well, it's...
with regard to like dynamics and stuff like that.
Well, of course, you won't be able to manipulate it the same way. However, you have different manipulations for samples than for VSTs. So in some regards, it might be even more versatile, but in other regards, it's not. So I guess it's a long story and a long topic to get into.
So it's easier to transport a VST if someone else doesn't have it. Sure.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, if they're not using a dongle, because then it's tricky to transfer the licenses with the dongle and other licensing tools.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult if you're doing it on that level, that every person or both people, if two in a collaboration, should be able to edit every single note and the data for it. Another way would be to do sections of a song, which is collaboration we're doing right now. We've kind of built it on that. And then there's a third option in which you do your stems and then you merge them at some point in the process. So you kind of keep exchanging those stems with each other. And build something out of that. Like you build on top of someone does like a cool drum groove or something, and then you put some bass line on top of that, and then they put some other like synthesizer on top of that, and then you can keep building on that.
Yeah.
So there's different ways of doing things, all of them interesting in different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, it is. And every single time it's different because everyone has their own workflow.
Yeah. And we have a very good question here from Boyer. Question for you. Do you have any recommendations for starting remixes regarding ways to learn and beginner mistakes? Wow.
Oh, I'm not sure which aspect he's asking about. Is it the technical part, or I think it's not that part. It's how to approach a tune and how to break it apart and put it together in an interesting way.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
Somebody to do that. No, but listen to get a feel for the tune, because sometimes you only need some part of the song to build on, and then you can make up other supporting parts which are your own inventions or additions, and don't be afraid to add something of your own to it. I think that's how I like to think about it. Mm-hmm. You have a feel of the song, and then you just add more instruments and layers, and then you add something that goes with that feel of the song.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you have to love the song that you are working on? Is it important?
Yes, for me, since I'm doing it in the spare time. I'm not.
I kind of have a.
I actually got paid or on commission. I've done remixes on commission, and it's a bit harder. The music I made for the Amiga Power, where I've never heard of those songs before, and they weren't the kind of songs I would remix on my own, but they were interesting challenges to tackle, and to in the end it's fun when you get something that you're satisfied with. But it's pretty it takes more energy to try to build the love for the song than just have the love from the start. Mm-hmm. So it's more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Just in line with that, I got asked to remix Knucklebusters, which is a SID I actually hated. But by the time I was done with it, 4 years later, so I actually started to love it.
Yeah, you can get to love it, but it takes more energy and effort.
Yeah, easier to start with a song that you are already in love with. I think.
Definitely, definitely. That also gives you more angles to think about it, and actually putting your own touch on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have great news here, because we got from Lord of Crystallic the Nun tune that he was requesting earlier, and we were talking about, and we didn't have it. Like you also said that it's not that available on the internet, right?
Yeah, I made a few tunes back in the time when I made the first remixes that I'm not. I'm not too proud of them.
Is this one of
they're
them?
my first work that I made that sounded like something. The stuff I made on my Amiga with 4 channels, I don't count any of those as musical pieces.
Oh.
But those ones I made on the Fast Tracker were a bit better, but not my favorites.
Okay, so none is this category as well, as you say, or is it?
Yeah,
something?
it's one of those that sounded cool at the time, but I guess it sounds almost like music from my first album.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad, though.
No, it's not catastrophic bad. It's not that I'm not too.
So, do you give us and Lord of Crystallic a permission to play it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
It's fun to hear something that I made very early.
Okay.
Cool.
Go for
Looking
it.
forward to it.
If we take these nuns, I bet that God will be on co-pilot.
There's a higher purpose involved, officer. Only the Lord knows what it is. Involved, officer. Only the Lord knows what it is. Involved, officer. Only the Lord knows what it is.
So how did it feel for you to hear
To
it?
hear the tune.
Well, I was dancing, sit dancing.
But I was asking him, how did it
It's
feel to hear that?
made in a time where the Goa trance was pretty big genre with us guys I hung out with. So it felt like the right thing to do. And the VST, no, it wasn't actually VST. The Rebirth 338, I think it was called. It was just released, and the 303 characteristic trance sound or acid sound. It was really cool to have a small program in your computer that generated a sound that you were not able to do without a proper synth that cost lots of money. So when that showed up, it was a really cool tool to use.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And a lot of tracks, especially like on the demo scene. Oh my God, everyone was like doing that as well. So as much as the possibilities were there, of course.
Yeah, and I love that whole infected mushroom and astral projection vibe off of that one. That was nice.
Yeah, indeed. And since we will still get back to the past probably for a little bit, but let's talk about this new album for a little while at least. Because it is a fun album, and I intend to play a track now. Like, I can't wait actually to play it, because a typical earworm, it's your own composition, and after the first listening I was like...
hey.
Almost. Almost something like that. But after the first listening, I can guarantee that not only me, but some other people will hum it too. It is like that kind of earworm. Yeah. So, in like in general, how did the idea of this new album came up, and what the listeners should know about it? It's called Mixed Up.
The Mixed Up was I didn't have a name for the album to start with. I actually had I only had one song that I wanted to release. It was the Flimbo's Quest remix, and then I had a bunch of songs that I have never released officially. They were just tunes I made for games and for myself. So I decided to take them up to a level where they were releasable or would fit in a for the listeners in a style I think most people associate me with. So I think so I went with the old style of the first album, the classic 90s Eurodisco sound. Because those songs are the ones that are played the most on the when I look at the numbers at Spotify. So I think, okay, that's maybe what people want. So I make a new batch of chippy, blippy, bloopy tunes with
fresh batch of blippy
and I made them pretty fast. The melodies were already done, so I just remade them, or not remixed, but remade them and extended them a bit because they were quite short. They were maybe 1 minute and 30 seconds. But like with remixing, you can always add some new stuff and extend them to a more suitable track length. And Mixed Up is because they are not only Sid remixes, they are original, and there's also a Amiga remix I made for some project that I thought was interesting to release. And the track by Thomas Stetott, the Magic Disc, has been released for a long time on RKO and available on the internet. But I thought it was nice to include it on an album or a collection of similar tunes. So I think it was a good thing to make an album, although it's only 8 tracks, but it counts technical as an album on the streaming sites. So
what's the limit?
What?
What's the limit for number of tracks? Because mine is 7 tracks.
It's six tracks. It may differ between iTunes and Spotify, but 6 or 7 tracks. So I put together as many tracks as I could, so I could release an album. And it was nice to get something new out, because there are a few years between my releases, but I'm not inactive with the music, because I made some music on commission and some music on at work. So I do music occasionally, even if I don't release anything that's showing up on Spotify or the regular places.
Yeah, but you can still get them if they get the games you put them in.
Yeah, of course.
But I like the idea of the mixed up the title and everything, just one of your own and a remix kind of. Very nice.
Yeah, and I have a couple of other original tunes, but I don't think they would fit the quality of the music, or the melodies were not up to what I expect of myself, but those I put on the CD. I think I was a bit unsure. I'm when it comes to my own music, I'm quite. I'm not so confident with the music I make myself, because I'm not sure it's as good as it could be, or it matches the remix, because when I do remixes, I take masterpieces and turn them into something else.
Yeah,
but I do.
I have the same feeling with the your own stuff. It's the result of doing that. As opposed to taking an existing masterpiece and remaking that.
Yeah, because then someone else have paved the road, and people know the tune, so it just falls into place. But if you do your own stuff, you don't have a quality assurance.
Exactly. It hasn't been tested by time.
Yeah, exactly. Tested by time. So I think some of the tracks, the Purple Sky of Freedom, I think that's a kind of strange tune. But I read a review of the game that it was for, and they seldom mention anything about the music. But in that game, they liked the music. I thought it had a strange charm or something. So maybe it is good. I'm not sure. I think it was kind of nice, but it was kind of strange too. Strange chords, and there are no real melody. It's more of a hymn, feel to it. But I think it's mixing the album up. So go for it.
Yeah.
And Johanna Hård, I think it was supposed to be something about pirates, and the name I picked because Johanna Hård was a Swedish pirate, actually, a female Swedish pirate.
I didn't know that.
A pirate name, and Johanna Hård showed up and was Swedish, so I think it was a funny name to have for that track.
So, shall we carry on with this earworm?
Yeah, I think so. Earworm it is.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm sending a warning to everyone. You're gonna hum this after this track. I can guarantee you that.
Sommarplåga, hey, hey, sommarplåga.
Shh. On air again. So what does the quality control say? I probably shouldn't ask you. I should ask someone else, but I guess they will tell their opinion very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a bit unsure about the flute instrument, but I thought it had some kind of... It's just a sample. It's not a fancy multi-sampled flute or anything.
Don't need to be in this kind of song.
No, in this context, it sounds like an Amiga sample thing that fit the theme.
Yeah, and it definitely works, I think. So this really doesn't need to be multi-sampled in that sense.
Yeah, Rafi on Facebook says, call him Mr. Radar, call him Mr. Wrong, call him Mr. Vague. rain.
But that's not the song that came to my mind from this
No,
song.
but it's a kind of a similar kind of a sommarplåga.
Yeah, to me it was like first when I heard it, it was like. First of all, I couldn't not hum it after that, and then I had to re-listen a few times, because then it's like I realize how happy I am. So it's like it definitely makes you happy, like this kind of, I'm not a sad person basically, but then I'm even more happy when I'm listening to this continuously. Hopefully others have the same impact as well.
Yeah, Alpa on YouTube says, instant earworm, makes me want to drink rum and get a wooden leg and sing pirate songs.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's spirit.
And Alpa is also a musician that is within your range, I think. So it's like he has very similar style and taste. And
Yeah, I think you would like his stuff as well.
definitely.
Cool.
So yeah, 4 remixes and 4 own tracks.
Yeah, the first one is I had some doubts about that as well, because if you're from Sweden, you might recognize a part of it that sounds very much like Växel Hallå Hallå.
Växel,
Lucas.
hallå, hallå, hallå.
Exactly. So when I made the tune, I was it was for a game, and I was in quite a hurry, so I borrowed a little of the chords and the melody for it. I tried to mask it to not sound too much like the inspiration, but then I added some different parts and changed it up a bit. So I hope it's not. I was pressed for time when I made it, the original, and then I tried to change it when I remade it for the release, but I couldn't get. It had stuck. I couldn't make anything different that gave the same feel or bounce or whatever you want to call it to the song. So I was stuck, and
Yeah, it's hard to beat the bounciness of that one.
Yeah.
I'm still bouncing.
Yeah, it was a real. I think that sounds like almost like something you would find in a remix that I made. So
yeah,
the sound of the arpeggio chords and the lead sound and all the other instrumentation and the feel. I think it was appropriate for the album.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Then it's also a nice finishing tune. It's the last track of the album, so...
Yeah, go out with a bang. Or a bounce.
Yeah.
Instead of bowing out, you're bouncing out.
Yeah, exactly. And have you ever learned, by the way, to make music, or how does this inspiration came from for you, that you are making music, basically?
Like the tunes I made, the original tunes.
I think she refers to
like music in general.
Music theory and playing an instrument and that
so
sort of thing.
Have you learned it anywhere?
No. No, I haven't. Unfortunately, I didn't play any instrument when I was young. It was quite. You didn't have so much choice. Some guys played the trumpet, some played the saxophone, some played violin or piano, but there were never any instruments that interested me because of the sounds, because I was interested in synthesizers. And the piano is the closest thing, but it didn't sound like something I liked. The piano was something boring that the teacher had in the corner when we were going to sing.
Collecting dust.
So piano, but nowadays I appreciate the piano sound. But back in the day, piano was a grey old boring instruments. All orchestra instruments sounded boring, especially when you can't play them. The trumpet and the likes, the flutes. So I wasn't really interested in music until I had the Amiga. I liked the music on the C64, but I never had any tools to create anything by myself. It was when I got the soundtrack for the Amiga, I started to experiment with music.
Nice. Yeah, and then first 4 channels, and then later on expand. Yeah, that's so cool. And then, were there any, like, can we mention commercial idols, so to speak, like any bands or performers that you were a fan of?
Yes, of course. It was quite difficult to list an inspiration, but Jean-Michel Jarre, of course. The synthesizer sounds he created were way ahead of his time. I remember the first thing I saw with him was the Dockland concerts in London on TV. Oh, I couldn't believe there was music existing that sounded so... it was like a big orchestra of synthesizers with the fireworks and laser beams, and it was crazy. As a kid, maybe I was 10 or 11. It was mind-blowing to see something like that, because they didn't play that kind of music on the radio, or they see something else on TV. But when you saw that, you were blown away. So that was a really big inspiration. Not that I could do that kind of music, but it was a big inspiration that the sound of the synthesizers and that aspect of music. Then I like the laser dance, the Orkoto, the space synth genre. I like that very much.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would like to make something someday in that genre, but I realize there are quite few others that appreciate that genre, because when you look at those artists that create that kind of music, they're not very big on the streaming services.
Yeah.
It would be more for my own sake that I do something that I really think is cool.
I think it can find its way to the proper scene, to be honest. I know a few people who are into it. So, yeah. Some of them are even listening right now.
Yeah, I think so. And some people are on that track as well. The Sonic Wanderer, for example, have touched that genre a couple of times, I think.
Yeah, combining with the 90s feel. So I think there's nothing better that can happen with the music when you combine the 80s and the 90s together. Yeah. It's like a personal opinion.
You're a maniac.
Yeah, that's actually my next inspiration, 80s rock.
Nice.
The 80s sound in general. When the drum machines started to show up, and they used a little more synthesizers and not just pure metal or hard rock. I like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, some of it, and Def Leppard, and some of the more pop songs too. The Stockman 8 King Waterman. I think there was a gang of guys creating quite a lot, or produced quite a lot of music, like the Samantha Fox and Banana Ram and that kind of pop tunes. I like them very much. From the end of the 80s, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. And if you would head towards the 80s and synths, I might recommend you a synth that is like the ultimate everything for me. It's called Tyrell. It's completely free. It's a wonderful VST, and the default presets in it, they are like all the everything that you need in 80s synths, in my opinion. So it's like, and it's not only 80s, so it's like it can be a hybrid. So maybe it's a personal preference as well. For me, it usually solves all the problems that I have with the tracks. So it's like whatever
I had to create one lead sound in Serum, but that was kind of it.
Yeah, and it is just there. And for bass lines, for synths, for like the entire feel, it's just wonderful. So it's called Tyrell, and you can look it up. It's really nice.
Oh, definitely. Since it's free, it's easy to try it out.
Yeah, definitely.
U-HE.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. So,
okay. Oh, I've heard of it in forums and stuff. I've never tried it. It's difficult with VSTs because even if they're free, you don't want to collect too much because you want to try to master the instruments you have, and having more stuff just makes you search more.
Yep.
For what
forever.
I just want to point out that person there that who has a bunch of, like a huge collection of.
Stop pointing at me. Mine are mostly sample libraries rather than complex synths. The complex synths I have is Massive and Serum. And Serum is kind of really simple to navigate and create stuff in yourself. That's kind of my go-to synth anyway. I can do mostly anything with it.
It's wonderful too.
Yeah. Massive and
I like
Serum.
some of the simple synths. I have one called Predator. It's I think it was marketed back in the day as a no-nonsense, simple-to-use virtual analog subtractive synthesizer, and I still use it, the first version, because I think it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and it sounds good.
Yeah.
If you want simple synth sounds, you go to that.
Yeah, I had it back in the days in my previous config, so yeah, rings the bell.
Yeah, I think
we are nearing the end.
Oh my god, and we are never, we are definitely not there where we would like to be. Message for Atlas, we already played Commando from Instant Remedy, so I can tick off this request. Oh my god, still there is a lot. And message to Pixel Buster, we love Mordy and the Great Bath of the Seven Seas, but we will play Instant Remedy today from here, so I guess that's it. And let me check out what we have still here. My god, I don't like to choose. And cheers, Stefan Reuter from Belgium as well. He wanted to hear a techno version from Turrican, which we probably won't go for right now. But here we have Last Ninja Extended Remix, Lazy Jones, West Bank version 2, and Game on Issue, which Grigor said that when you show up, the track must be played. Well, we missed that, but maybe. Which one would you choose right now from these?
I think the Game On Issue is a quite cool track. I liked it back when I made it because it just everything just fell into place when I made that tune.
Oh, I love when that happens.
So it's not always the case of sometimes it's pretty far between those experiences, but everything just fell into place. Everything just worked from the start. So, and I was satisfied with this result, and I have had other people also telling me they like that song. So I would probably choose that.
Yeah, and I'm on it. Just a moment. There we go. Okay. So I guess we will play this and come back maybe for 1 or 2 more rounds, I guess. Yay, definitely. This tune had to be played. I completely agree. So
Completely.
sorry, my intonation was wrong, right? Okay, then.
No,
That was
I
Michael
just
Schneider,
agreed.
right?
Oh, sorry.
That
Yeah.
was Michael Schneider, right?
You mean the
I-
original?
Schneider was
think
the
it was.
original composer, I think.
Yeah, that or Thomas Detert. I can't remember.
Thomas would be able to tell. He is with us on Facebook at some point. I'm just not able to follow the conversation there right now. But
Yeah, I think people said hello to him at least. I don't
Yeah,
know
exactly.
if he actually turned up or not.
maybe he did. Maybe he
maybe.
was just sneaking around. But he was certainly around. So yeah. I remember Thomas Dieter though for this tune, but I'm not sure right
Yeah,
now.
that rings a bell.
Yeah, I think so.
Someone can look it up and tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So, we talked about the tools. So, essentially, you use Renoise still.
Yeah.
And any other favorite VSTs maybe that you would mention and recommend? We also got some.
Yeah, if you... I have the Omnisphere 2, which is a quite expensive...
Yeah.
But you get quite a lot of quality instruments with that purchase.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are maybe 12,000 sounds or something.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
Very high quality, but not for everything. But I like the Predator, the old Zeta or C3TA Plus or something. It's an old VST as well. I like the VSTs. I don't think they necessarily go out of time because they have a new version.
Definitely
Because
not.
if I like the first one, I would still use it. Some instruments I have bought the update for, but I still use the first one more.
Mhm.
Because I know my way around them, and I think they sound like I want them to sound.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I also have an instrument. I'm not sure if I like or not. It's Nexus 2.
Oh yeah, with, lots of
you
kind
want
of
to-
drum loops
yeah.
and bass lines and the 303s in there.
If
Fun to
you
play
want
with.
to do EDM, that's
Yeah.
an ideal choice.
Yeah.
I'm so much for EDM, but I've made the Project X remix was an attempt to do EDM for some reason. I thought, I have to do what everyone else is doing to yeah. But then I thought, why would I do that? I want to do what I think I get the most out of. So I got back to do the Eurodisco thing. But,
And we are very happy about that.
Indeed.
I like that very much.
Yeah. With
Instead of
regard,
trying to
with regard to Omnisphere, Marcel Donnet swears by it. He says he can make any sound with that thing.
yeah, it's really powerful.
Yeah.
I've just used a few presets in some tunes, but it's I think it's overly complex for the things I have used it for. But you have quite a lot of options in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Dex's recommendation is Parawave Rapid. 25 wavetable oscillators and super low CPU usage. Oh my god, the latter would make me so happy.
Parawave Rapid. Never heard of. Oh, cool.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. I'll definitely.
Wavetable synth. I think they use them for EDM. That's what I read. No, I think they use them. I'm not sure why they use that kind of synths, but many of the sounds you hear in EDM are produced on those kind of synths.
Cool. I just looked up Parawave. I don't know. Kind of looks a little bit like Serum, maybe a bit more oscillators and waveforms in there. I don't know, but looks cool. Awesome.
Yeah, indeed. Is there any musical genre that feels weird for you to do, or that you wouldn't like to do?
Polka.
There was a craze. There was a time when orchestral libraries were expanding quite much when the computers got more power and so on. I'm not sure which year or so, but it started to show up a lot of orchestral remixes.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a big fan of those, if I'm being honest. Not that it's something wrong with the genre, but I tried to do some stuff, orchestral stuff, but that was not for me.
Yet you like Greener Brown, so
yeah. I liked his, and that's funny because the best piece with Glyn is the one he made. That was, I think, the start of that orchestral era when he made the Fire Lord remix. Oh, that's the one. I think he has made a later one, but that haven't got the correct. It doesn't have the same feel.
I think that might be largely because it was actually made for the 8-Bit Symphony project. And the whole arrangement is made so a real orchestra can actually play it. His original was just there was like a shit bunch of horn players in there that you just couldn't fit in a room and that sort of thing. Just make it bigger. So the new one is basically just built so a real orchestra can play it, which a real orchestra actually did in February.
It sounds a lot better, the new one, but I liked the slightly computerized version where you sometimes could hear stuff that wasn't right, but I think it was because it came in a time when those kinds of remixes weren't common at all. The level of technical engineering to make something sound like that was quite difficult. You had to have a bunch of Akai sample libraries and strange stuff. It wasn't available. Any good libraries that you can use on a regular computer. So when it came out, it was mind-blowing.
Oh, definitely. Still is to this day. It's still awesome to listen to.
Yeah, I listened to it the other day. It's really good still.
Oh, I have a weird noise in my right ear now.
I have it too continuously, so this is still not sorted out. Anyway.
Anyway.
Okay, well, what's the question? I think I wanted way too much. Oh, a genre I don't...
the one that you would never do and you don't like, maybe, but these don't necessarily overlap. It's just, you wouldn't do orchestra remixes.
It's one I'm not particularly fond of. There exists great remixes, definitely, but it's not my first cup of tea. And then it's strange because I generally like rock and metal music, but as remixes, I'm not. I think you stray too far away from the sound I prefer when I listen to a remix, I think.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Because I want the waveforms and the bleeps and bloops. If you metalize it, or how do you want to call it, it's... you get the atmosphere of the track and the melodies, but I don't think it's suitable in most cases. They're really good. The guitar players and everything, the sound engineering is really good, but as remixes, seed remixes, I that's not my cup of tea either. Even if I love rock and metal music.
Good to know. And how about machine supremacy?
I'm not sure why. Yeah, but machine supremacy, that's they're different.
Yeah, they have some blips and blops in there because of the synthesizer guy that kind of insists on them.
Their remixes I really like. I'm not sure what. It might be they included some of the some of that original blips.
Some blippy shit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And nowadays you said that you are occasionally doing music. Like, would you ever plan to do only music? Or are you okay with it as it is?
The way I would prefer it would be to work part-time on music and part-time as my regular job as a game developer. Because there were periods when I was sitting at home doing music for extended time periods. I think it was I became unemployed and I had time to sit at home to make music. That's when I started working more seriously on the Insert Disc 2 Amiga album. And that was... you were too caught up in your own bubble. You need some variation. So working 3 days and working 2 days on music or something like that. That would be the ideal, I think.
Then I guess you are a happy man because it is sort of given now.
Yeah, every third project you get to do the music for at least.
Yeah.
But the music for the projects at work, I may, if a project take 1 year, I maybe sit at home to make music a couple of days.
Okay, so he's like not proportionally there, but
the proportions are not.
So could we say that one of your future goals is to do more music? A little bit more than now?
Yeah, of course. I would like to do some other projects. I would love to remix regular songs with singing and remixing songs or remaking songs that more people recognize.
Yeah, like a larger crowd.
Larger crowd. It would. I would probably try to make them sound like I would sound.
Your kind of brand on it.
Sound like my style, but.
Like a Instant Remedy style Deadmau5 remix.
But not too contemporary. I would like to do classics like Sweet Dreams with the Eurythmics or
that would be cool.
Some of those 80s and 90s tracks. I can't. What's that called? Blue Monday. Blue Monday.
Yeah.
Would you Eurodancify them mostly?
No, I'm not sure. I like the sound of the late 80s, so maybe it would sound like something from the late 80s.
Okay, sounds like a very interesting thing too.
Yeah.
So
that song with You Spin Me Round Like a Record.
Right. right.
Yeah. Oh,
Spin me right round, baby, right round. Like
that would be a really cool song. I like the sound of that song. That has the
I can already hear it in my head.
The late 80s pop sound. I feel like.
Yeah, I can already hear it in my head. Now you just need to make it. So
yeah.
And do you have any like dream projects in your head that you would love to work on? Maybe not only in the terms of music, but first focusing.
Yeah, I think it would be something like that. Redoing some classic songs, maybe in some kind of collaboration, would be really cool. But, yeah, but it's hard to do. It takes quite much. In my previous years, I've made most of my music in the evenings and taking hours of my sleep to make things happen. But now I feel that it was quite a big sacrifice. It was worth it in the end, but it's quite taxing on your health, and if you don't get your sleep, if you're only sleeping 4 or 5 hours in the night, and then you have to work and then go at it again, it's quite exhausting.
Yeah.
So doing it in daytime instead.
Yeah. That would be optimal.
Yeah, would be optimal.
Yeah. Absolutely. And do you plan to appear on, well, this is the wrong time for this question, I know, but I would love to know that if you plan to appear on any sort of remix related or 8-bit related events. So have you ever considered visiting those? Like, I know that some of the early bit lives you were there, right?
Yeah, I was. I don't know if I told you when I was there. I feel a bit bad because when we were going to the club and we got name tags, and I got mine that said Instant Remedy or whatever. People came up to me and asked if they could have autographs, and started talking. And I was, I'm not sure what happened, but I took my name tag off because I thought it was a bit too much for me. I wasn't prepared to meet people that were so eager to talk to me and take photos and signing autograph. So I wanted to be a little more low key, but I feel bad because from time to time I tell people, "Oh, I was there." "Oh, you were? I never saw you."
But, they might have actually seen you, except they didn't know it was you.
Some people knew how I looked, so they recognized me anyway. But I think it was a bit hard at the time. But now I think now I will be fine with it. But I'm not so much for going to demo parties and stuff. I've never been a part of the scene like you guys or those people meeting up on events like that. It's fun, I'm sure. I just never have thought about it so much.
Yeah, and it depends which party.
Questions from time to time if I want to attend or DJ at some place, but I feel that what am I going to do? Because I'm just going to stand there while the music is playing. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's something suitable to do, but I feel like that's not my thing, I think.
I see. Well, it's like in terms of demo parties, I think one would be worth to mention here. For sure, well, several, but one for sure is in the Netherlands, X, happening every 2 years. And they are completely C64 oriented. So it's all about C64, an entire weekend.
Not even remixes, just pure 64.
Pure 64, that would be probably the event where you could meet most of the people you also know from the remix scene, I think. And what is probably more concerning you is the BitLive, because nowadays it's also very well taken care of, and it is in Norway, and I still have some hopes.
Are you suggesting it wasn't before?
No, I didn't say that. It's just that for a few years there was no BitLive, and there is BitLive again. And there was 2 BitLives like in the previous 2 years, and they were amazing. And they are also in an amazing city called Bergen. And also, it's like an entire weekend event from Friday until like Saturday night, basically. But there you could also meet like a lot of people who know you, and you know them most likely as well. So it goes both ways. So it's not only they know you, and you don't have to wear name tags. Just so you know. So
you can hide under the Slay Radio table if you want. It's fine. we'll grant you asylum.
But yeah, it's
today I would be fine, but at that time I wasn't prepared mentally what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's understandable, absolutely. So yeah, I still have some high hopes, maybe a bit lower hope, but I still hope that BitLive might happen in October, because it's autumn and we don't know what will happen in autumn. But then again, this is this year, this is 2020, and we don't know still what will happen. So
there's people on Mr. Jeff Probst. Says, I would ask for an autograph, to be honest.
So yeah, probably there would be some people who would come to you, but you don't have to wear your name tag, or there's no name tags there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's all about 64 remixes live.
Mm-hmm.
So,
cool.
Well, right.
I guess we reached the point where we let you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Catch up on that beauty sleep and all of that.
Yeah.
Health sleep.
Health sleep. I was having a slight hesitation of which would be the exit tune that we should end the show with. I placed my bet on Lazy Jones because it was requested. But I don't know how you feel about that.
I think it's okay. It's from, I think it's not my finest pieces, but it's...
hang on, let's play one of your finest pieces according to your opinion.
No.
So.
Oh, you put me on the spot. No, it's really difficult. Because there are many on the same level. Oh, the one I really like that Rain Ohan you made. It's from a Flimbus Quest. It's a Flimbus Quest from the new album.
Hang on a minute. Oh yeah, like your album, you mean? Yeah, of course.
Track number 3.
Definitely. Okay, that's a perfect one. I think it's Flimbo is definitely was my other choice as well. So wow, I guess we would like to thank you for your time spent with us, and
yeah, thank you too,
and with all the listeners as well. Sorry for everyone who probably was sending me questions and I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah, we've been busy talking and stuff here. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just realized.
Sending me messages. You said someone could look it up. I don't. Sorry, people. I completely lost thread. Lost my thread here on IRC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
sorry about that. But yeah, it's been fun talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
It feels like we could talk for 2 hours more.
Yeah, easily. The time ran away from
Not
us.
today.
Yeah, time ran away from us.
yeah, but I guess every one of us is working tomorrow.
Yeah.
And now we know you also like to sleep, finally. So it's like, it's not good to spend all those years like with staying up. I did that too. And
Yeah,
so, yeah.
not good. But thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you, Instant Remedy, for joining us and talking with us tonight.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and we wish you all the best for all the goals that you are aiming for. Maybe a bit more music, and and who knows, maybe we might bump into you at some sort of event. We will see.
Like a bit live or X or something. Who knows?
Yeah, and wishing you all the best. And for the listeners, I'm just saying that if you want like more live shows on the other days of the week, you know that you can always go to Boz Radio. So that would be it, and we will be back next Thursday. So you can count on us, and yeah, thank you so much once again for
It's been
spending
awesome.
time with us. Indeed.
Thank you, and also thank you for the album. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
it wasn't. It still is. Indeed.
It was awesome to listen to.
Yeah. So thanks, and have a good night. And,
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
and take care. And
Thank you, Martin.
goodbye, everyone. Too.
Any
See you.
last words there, Martin?
Yeah.
Any last words there?
We might have a bit of delay
last
now.
words.
Yes.
I have a comment on the Flimbo's Quest remix we're about to play. I made it as a tribute to the first remix, because that is the most played tune on the Spotify with the highest amount of streams. So I thought people like that tune, and I would probably make something similar to it, as a tribute to the game and to the most popular song. And I think it's a quite nice tune. It has all the it checks all the boxes with what I like in a CD tune to remix. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Sounds
Excellent.
awesome. So this is what we will say goodbye with, and
Excellent last words, I think.
yeah, indeed. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a
Namaste.
good night and sleep well. See you.
See you.
Bye.
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 SID, The Final Frontier. These are the remixes of the Commodore 64 community. Our continuing mission to play Commodore 64 remixes as loud as we can.